Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk on big data data warehouse solution, how to implement the data warehouse solution. So if you are watching my video first time, please like, share and subscribe for the new upcoming videos. So today we'll talk more on how to get the data warehouse solution when you have a source and target pipeline, and how to create this pipeline end to end together. So a data pipeline is an end-to-end process where the data will be ingested from source to the destination. So here during this process, what we will do is that while processing the data from source to the destination, we will do the ingestion, then cleaning, and then the transformation. So ingestion is the place where we do the data ingestion from all the varieties of data, like it can be from SQL database, or it can be relational non-SQL database, it can be an IoT components, and these are all the different varieties of ingestion what we can take the data. And then once we have the data, we will cleanse the data, means we will prepare the data so that we can do the computation on top of that one. So once you have the proper data, unwanted data will be cleaned and everything, then you put it into the third angle where you do the permutation and combination and do the transformation of the data. So once the data is transformed to your desired format, and it can be presented to the, or it can be transferred to the target location. Okay, we'll think on why we need this big data pipeline, and what is my roles and responsibility as a software engineer, or as a developer, or as a system administrator, or as an cloud administrator. What is my role to do this big data pipeline? So we'll see on that part. So if you are a developer, as a programmer, as I mentioned previously, if you are if you have learned as a developer for Python, JavaScript or anything, and you know how to do the coding, and then your requirement is that to get the data from source to the destination. So it can be, my input can be from the website, so where the data will come from the website, or it can be an IoT device. So the backend, the code will be written, it will go to the database. So this is where your roles and responsibility will come. As a developer, you do the JavaScripting or coding in Python, Java, or C++, Java, whatever the language you know. So based on that one, you get the input as an API. So this application program interface, we call it as application in terms of that one. So once you code the details, so we will get those data, and with the this data will be transferred to the backend to the database. So this. Okay, while creating this data pipeline, what is the benefit of doing this type of big data pipeline? So if we see that one, so the first point is that the efficient workload management. So what when you create this data pipeline, how it should be like that, workload management should be effectively managing the resource. So you have the resource, for example, the CPU, memory, storage. So these are all the physical resource. So and also you have the human resource. So you should manage this resource effectively, and to do that one, you should have a proper data pipeline efficiently, and ensure that the resource utilization and maximum return of the investment. So this is where you get whatever you have invested, it should come back maximum return on the investment. That is the first part. Then you see the data quality and improve the quality of the data. See, when you create the data pipeline, so you should also concentrate on the quality of the data. So you should not be, data should not be empty, or it should give a bad quality of data should not be there in the pipeline. So it increase the level of confidence and reliability in the data. So this is where, if your data quality, whatever you are given in Excel sheet, or whatever the data output you have gathered, so it should have the valid real-time data where the customers can accept that one. So if the data is not correct, then it is the whole process is waste. Then the third part will connect to the disparate source. So this is the where you connect to the data. It should be in such a manner that it can connect to the all types of data. For example, data from WhatsApp, or it can be Facebook, or it can be from Gmail, or it can be SAP data, database data, Excel sheet. So you should be able to collect the data in all the format, and it should convert that format into your desired location, or whatever the format you want to be in presented for that one. So make sure that your pipeline should be able to connect in all varieties of data. It can connect to the all varieties of data. And then finally, once you got the data and everything, so the AML, artificial intelligence or machine language initiatives means that, so whatever the data you have, on top of that, and you can do data science or innovative data analytic part. What transformation you can do and collect, bring the data more value from that data. During this process, while building the data warehouse pipeline, as I mentioned, the second part will come the data pipeline, where all the other position like a Unix admin. So a Unix admin will do the installation of a server, and his responsibility will to bring up the servers, and what all the configuration is required, what best CPU, memory and storage, what is the best server I can give for this pipeline. So he is the one who going to decide what is the best configuration for the server. And then we have the database DBA, database administrator, where we have a lot of like Oracle, we have DB2 database, PostgreSQL, SQL and non-SQL database are there. So based on your roles and responsibilities, once you have a DBA and the Unix administration on top of that one, you have installed the database on top of that one, and once your server and the database is ready and your front-end application is also ready, so then we have the data pipeline continuous to start doing the continuous improvement and continuous development on top of that one. So to do this entire pipeline, you should have all the resource in place. So starting from a developer to start coding the website and bring the script, JavaScript or whatever the Python or everything. Once your data is ready, the data is moved to the database, then you do the permutation and combination calculation and everything. So during this process, the server should be stable, the Unix server, the space and CPU memory should be available, resources should be very much available for that one. So all these factors needs to be taken care during this process. We have 5 stages in data pipeline. So first one is data engineering, here where the data collection, data ingestion and data preparation will happen. Data collection in the sense is the data will be collected from all the sources. As I mentioned, it can be structured or non-structured data. Structured means from the database, Excel or anything. Unstructured means it can come from Twitter data, Facebook or any other unstructured data it can come. And once you have the data, where it has to be ingested, whether it is in Windows Server or it is in Linux machine or it is in a cloud, where you want to keep this data, so that is where the ingestion will come. And then you keep, once you have the data somewhere, you have to do the preparation of the data. You have to clean the unwanted data and prepare the data. So these 3 parts will be done. Once this part is done, then you go for the next one is analytics and machine learning, where the computational part. So the data which is cleansed and everything is ready, you do permutation combination on top of that one and you the transaction on this data. And once the data is transformed or transferred to the desired format, so it can be presented to the next layer, to the customer or to the client or customer you want, whoever you want. So it will be delivered to the desired, or it can be again pushed to the data warehouse. This is what we call it as a 5 stages. So once the first stage is a data collection, where the data will be collected from all the sources, and then the data ingestion will happen to the desired location, the second part, whatever the location you have given. And then the third part is the data preparation. and once the prepared data is ready, you do the computation on the data, and it can be stored again back to the data warehouse or data lake, whatever the format you want, and then that data will be presented to the client. In terms of a software engineer, what will be my role in this entire pipeline, if somebody is asking? So your role will be designated to that particular area. For example, if you are expert in designing phase, so as I mentioned previously, you will be in first layer to bring the data. And if you are expert in Unix, so to build the entire pipeline, so you will build the entire pipeline, server, microservices and everything. So this is where the installation and configuration of the software, hardware components will come into picture. And then once you are a expert in database area, so the database part, that is also a different area where you can get very good experience on database and database administration part. But during this entire process, we will call it as data will be stored at the final goal will be to deliver the data to the data warehouse or a data lake. So the difference between data warehouse and a data lake is that data warehouse is a structured data. For example, previously we were getting rows and columns of data, where the data will be in a structured format. Some of the database like Oracle, DB2, SQL database or Microsoft SQL, these are all having structured format of the data. So but nowadays since we are getting unstructured data from WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, so the data which is coming very huge, and not only it is huge, it is unstructured data. So it takes a lot of time to consume to make it as a structured data. So we need a different format and different database where it can store the unstructured format also, like some of the MongoDB or Cassandra DB, Elasticsearch. These are all some different unstructured data warehouse, non-SQL database also we have. So once you have the structured and non-structured data, so we need some place to keep all these things. That is this type of data, we call it as a data lake, both a structured, unstructured and semi-structured data. And this data can be stored into one more component, we call it as Hadoop. So this is where the unstructured data can be also, we can save it. And Hadoop is one of the place where we keep the data, and this is the extension of a big data warehouse, because previously in data Oracle or DB2 or anything, or the space constraint was very less. Previously the data size was very less, like 1 GB or 10 GB or 100 GB, 200 GB. And then later, because of more information from Twitter or WhatsApp or anything, so we are getting more data and frequent data, real-time data we are getting. So the size of the data is also very big, so we need more terabyte of space, which can process the data. And Hadoop and big data is one of the components which is able to process this type of big data processor. So once you have those unstructured and semi-structured data, using the data lake format, we can keep it in a Hadoop format also. So this is how the big data pipeline looks like. So the first data is collection. The data collection can happen from applications and mobile applications, microservices, IoT device, website also. We can collect a different format and different types of data from all these sources. And once you have the data ingestion will happen. So we call it as ETL, extract, transform and load. This is where the data will be extracted and transformed to the particular source. And since we have a real-time data, stream data ingestion also will happen. So different continuously we are getting data from Twitter or WhatsApp or IoT device also. So this type of data, streaming data, will also capture in a data ingestion. So once we have the data, everything, we'll keep it in a warehouse, data warehouse or data lake or master data management, somewhere you keep the data, and here this is the place where you do the data preparation. So you have the data and you delete the unwanted data and get the whatever is required format of data and to the next level. So once you have the next data, you do on top of that one data analytics, machine learning, predictive analysis. So these are all the computation work you do, machine language, AI machine learning initiatives on top of that one. So once you have the desired format data and everything, you present it to the customer. So how to present it to the customer? Using a dashboard, or it can be a report like Excel sheet or anything, or it can be in a PDF format, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, anything, reports you can do, or you can push the data again back to the microservices, or you can send a notification using email or SMS. So whatever the data you got, you can push it back to the customer. So this is how the presentation will happen. Hi friends, thanks for watching this video. Hope you liked this video. Please like, share and comment, and don't forget to press the bell icon for new videos. I'll come up with the new interesting videos like this. Thanks once again.